Hello, hello. Susie Lee here with Lina Boutique. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a gorgeous essential stencil transfer and making a special box from it. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm an Essential Stencil affiliate and I will have my link in the description of this video. I got this box at Hobby Lobby and it was a Christmas box that I never got to. So I painted off the Christmas and painted it all in casement white with Fusion Mineral Paint. That's my go-to paint. And it has a couple, 2, 3 coats on it because I had to cover the red that was in the lettering on top of the box. So I've got the box filled with what I'm going to be putting in it and whatnot, but I'm going to take all of that out temporarily. I made some paper roses and it's going to be so cute, you guys. Okay, you take a paper bag, you put your hand in it and you start to twist it. And as you start to twist it, you push up on the base of the bag and kind of just crinkle it up. And then you're going to take your hot glue and you're going to hot glue it and seal down the bottom so the flower lays flat. Then you're going to take a skewer and you're going to make a little hole in it, put some hot glue in it, and you're going to stick the skewer in there and just wait for the hot glue to set up. You can kind of pinch the paper around the skewer so that it'll set up and hold tightly. And there you go, you've got a paper rose. Okay, so I made a few of these, I believe 5, and I am going to set those aside for now because we want to get to this pretty part of the Essential Stencil transfer. It's a gorgeous bicycle, is it not? With all those peonies and beautiful roses and the pail below it. So what I want to do before I do all of that is I want to do what is called a fine line crackle with Penta Art product here. It's a 2-step process. You put on this white pasty substance and it's a little bit like Mod Podge, but you have to do it with a completely clean and dry brush. As you can see, my brush was dry, but apparently it was not completely clean because I got a few little marks in it there, but it was no worse for the wear. When you put the transfer on, you can't see any of that. So that was a good thing. I thought I had that brush clean. So make sure you have a clean, dry brush, and then you dry it, and you dry it, and you dry it, and you dry it. And I cut some of that out because it takes a long time. You want to dry that completely dry. It takes about 5 minutes before you can go on to the next step. And being that it was white on white, it was kind of hard to see, so I just kind of had to feel and make sure it was dry. Okay, part 2, you take another clean, dry brush, and it's the varnish part that you're going to put on. It's what's going to make it glossy, and it's going to give you a nice crackle finish when you dry it. The crackling magic happens while you're drying it, and you have to look really, really close. I'll even show the video, slow the video down a little bit so that you can see that once it starts to happen. It's the coolest thing. But it looks a little bit like a vintage china teacup when you see the crackle, when you add the gold wax to it or whatever wax you're going to put on it so that it'll show up better. Okay, so now we got it all on there. And I actually ended up doing the entire box in the end off camera. I did the bottom part of the box in the crackle finish as well because there was too much contrast. So I really like having it all seamless. So I did that. But anyway, here we are just drying, drying, drying. And it happens when you don't quite expect it, but if you look really close, you can see that fine line crackle in there. It's in there. It's like ragu. So once you get it all dried up, you can go ahead and put on the transfer. Now, I put on the transfer before I put on the wax because I didn't want there to be anything on this box that would cause a resist and have an issue applying the transfer. So you just peel it off and carefully, because once you put it down, you're committed, carefully apply it where you want it. This transfer was a little bigger than the box, so I had to go down over the lip of the box and it got a little tricky, but it worked. You just got to take your time and don't rush it. If you pull it up and there's still some paint left on the clear plastic, you just simply put it back down and rub it some more with your little rubbing tool that they give you with every order. And it's pretty easy. Actually, the Essential Stencil transfers are some of the easier transfers that I've ever used from any of the brands I've used. So that's a good thing, right? So here I'm just getting over the edge of it and rubbing it really, really well. You have to just take your time and trust the process, like you say. So once you get that all down, you've got a gorgeous piece of artwork. It looks like you're an artist, right? And what was really cool that I didn't expect was that those fine lines went right through the transfer. So you could see the fine line crackle, and it makes it look more vintage. It gives it more of a vintage look. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love, love, love that particular transfer. And it's in the new spring bundle with Essential Stencil. So here I'm taking the Pint Art Antique Gold Wax Paste, and I'm just putting it on my finger, and I'm working in sections. I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. You can see that it goes on gold. Then you wipe it off with a dry paper towel, and you can see all those little fine lines like you would see in porcelain china, a vintage teacup perhaps. It just gives it such a neat vintage look. It's a really cool crackle process. Okay, so once you get all of that on, you want to get it along the sides and all the things. And as I said, I did the other half of the box off camera. Um, so you'll see that in the end. The inside of the box is red, and I'm just going to leave it red because, red is kind of, contrasting with the pink. I just think it looks pretty. It looks very Valentine's-ish, does it not? Not that this is a Valentine's box. You could keep this box out on a coffee table or end table all year round. And I am actually going to make this where form meets function, and it's going to be adorned with some paper roses, and it's going to leave some space in the box so that it can be used for housing all kinds of things. If you wanted to house your television remotes, or if you have a notepad for your Bible study, or even your little Bible study, you could go in there for your morning coffee, and you could just house it there and know where it is. And so there's lots of things that you could use this little treasure for. Right now, what I've done is I've just kind of wedged that foam in there. I did not glue it, so if I wanted to take it out and use it for something else, I could. So I'm just going in and arranging my little paper flowers. I think I did about 5 of them. And it just kind of sits open like that. I really like the look of that. There you go, guys. It's easy peasy. Just add your transfer to any surface and make it your own. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll give it a try, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.